So you slipped up and you had a drink after swearing off alcohol, promising yourself that you'd never drink again. And here you are. I know what it's like. I know it's a slippery slope. I've been there plenty of times. Probably at least 100. I'm not even exaggerating. And I want you to know that it's perfectly normal. It's gonna happen. But now what do you do? In this video, I'm going to help you realize what you can do to help minimize the damage and get back on track. And first, I want to start with normalizing the slip up. As I mentioned, it's going to happen. It happens to everyone. Studies show that 70% of people who are trying to quit drinking slip up at some point. So know that you're not alone. And when I say normalize the slip up, prepare yourself that it's going to happen. Because inevitably, it probably will. You might be able to go cold turkey, and some people do, but for the majority of us, that's just not the case. And when you can accept this from the beginning of your sobriety journey, it's going to do you a lot of favors in the long run. Because when you do slip up, it's almost expected in a way. You're not blindsided, you're not taken off guard, and you can move on even quicker. So just know, people make mistakes. I make them, you make them. It's okay. Give yourself some grace and move on. Second, pause and reflect. Take some time to sit down and think about what led up to having that drink or wanting that drink. I recommend, and this worked for me, sit down, get quiet, get rid of all the distractions, turn your TV off, get rid of your phone, put it somewhere, put it in a drawer so you're not checking it every 30 seconds. Get a pen and paper and think about what led up to that moment. And when you do this, it's super helpful because you can start to notice patterns in your external environment and in your internal environment that keeps leading you to want to drink, to have a drink. What circumstances are triggering you? What people, what environments, what things are tempting you to drink again? Now this is important because it'll help you recognize them in the future. And you'll be better prepared to handle them, or not even put yourself in those situations to begin with. Number 3, and this one's huge. This one was really important for me. And that is to get back on track as quickly as possible. You probably had a really good routine up until this point. You know, when you quit drinking, it's not just, oh, I quit drinking. It's a complete lifestyle change. You probably changed your diet. You probably started working out again. And you were just in a healthy mindset, and you're really gaining momentum. And what happens when you do slip up and you have a drink, for me, it would go one or two ways, and maybe you can relate. And either A, I would get back on track as soon as possible to help minimize the damage. So what that looks like is the next day, or as soon as I'm done feeling like shit mentally and physically, I'd go hit the gym. I'd do something physical to kind of get my body moving, get back in that mindset of taking care of myself. Maybe hit the sauna, have a healthy meal, get out in nature, go for a hike, go swimming in the river. Just something that will help kind of distract you from, you know, messing up. But also it'll get your mind and your body back in that routine, and you won't crave alcohol any longer. So that helped me a lot. But on the flip side, it's easy to get trapped. So you slip up, you have your drink, and you wake up, you're hungover, you're feeling like shit, curled up in bed. And if you don't get back into your routine and get back on track, it's easy to fall into old habits. Later that day, you might start drinking again. I did this many times. It's like, well, I already messed up. What's another night? I'll start again tomorrow. Well, one night can turn into the next day and the next day and the next day. And then you're kind of back to where you begin way back when you started to quit drinking. You kind of lose that momentum. You lose the drive to want to quit drinking. So getting back on track, however that looks for you, do that as soon as possible. Recognize the slip up, get back into your routine, and move on. Now, along with that, it's easy to fall into the blame game, the shame spiral, and really get into this negative headspace. And I did this often, every time, and it was a battle to get back to where I was before I had that drink. So again, recognize that you made a mistake and move on. Don't put yourself down. Don't feel bad about it. The shame and the guilt is not doing you any favors. So the quicker you can get over that, look at it from a positive standpoint instead of a negative standpoint. Instead of berating yourself and essentially talking shit to yourself, that's what I did. Think of it as a positive, like, okay, this happened, what can I do about it, and how am I going to learn, how am I going to grow, and how I'm going to be better next time I'm in this situation. There's always a silver lining. It's just a matter of perspective. How are you going to look at the situation? Now, also it's important to celebrate your resiliency. Quitting drinking is not hard. That's why you're here. That's why you're watching this video. And I appreciate you watching this video. It doesn't happen overnight. There's no one quick fix. There's no trick to it. It takes work. It takes persistence. The fact that you wanted to quit to begin with, and you had your slip up, and you still want to quit, that's something to be proud of. That's something to celebrate. It's easy to slip into, oh, I can't do this. I'm just going to give up. I'm just going to go back into my old routine because it's easier. It might not be my ideal life, and I might have thoughts from time to time that I could be doing better, but it's too hard. I can't do it. I don't have the willpower. This, that, and the other. All the excuses. That's easy. That's the easy way out. But you deserve better. We all do. So celebrate the fact that you want to keep going. Progress isn't, a straight line up. You'll take 3 steps up, 1 back, 5 steps forward, 3 back. But as long as you're making incremental improvements, you're good. It's okay. Also, it's important to check in with your why. Why did you want to quit drinking in the first place? It's always important to have a strong why. And when you check in with it, it helps you tap into the feelings and the emotions of what your life will be like without alcohol. And when you have a strong why, it's easy to get back on track. Do you just, you realize alcohol wasn't serving you? You no longer wanted it to have a hold on your life. Maybe you wanted to improve your relationships with your spouse, your partner, your kids, parents, family, friends, whatever the case may be. Or maybe you weren't performing at work. Whatever the reason is, obviously that's between you and you. But reconnect with that. Reconnect with your why. Another thing you can do is plan for next time. Those triggers or those same circumstances, they're probably going to pop up. Maybe not the exact same ones, but pretty similar. You know, alcohol is such a big part of our culture, of our society. You know, you can hardly go out in public without seeing advertisements or people drinking at bars or restaurants or on the beach, whatever the case may be. But as I mentioned earlier, when you pause and you reflect and you kind of study what led up to having that drink, you're able to plan for the next time and recognize those triggers and be ready for them and know how to navigate them. Maybe you don't even recognize them, and by not recognizing them, I mean they don't even bother you, right? It's just whatever. Oh yeah, those people are drinking, not a big deal. Or maybe they are still triggering, and how are you going to navigate that? You know, do you have some sort of way out of that situation? How are you going to handle that? So plan for next time, and that'll help you get out of this little rut that you're in. These things are bound to happen, you know, and the sooner you get over it, the better. You know, it's just a little speed bump. It's a little pothole in the road. You can get past this. You know, imagine driving down the freeway. You know, you see potholes and you hit them. And what do? You think about it and you keep driving. Next time you see that pothole, you'll swerve a little bit. You don't hit that pothole, pull over, turn the car off, and swear off driving. I'm done. I hit that pothole. I can't do this anymore. I'm not going to drive. I'm not driving ever again. No, you don't do that. You just keep going. You recognize it, you remember it, and next time, you'll avoid it. This is the same thing. When you have a slip up, it's just a little speed bump in your journey. It's not a big deal. Get through it, and next time you pass this pothole, you just swerve a little bit and you keep on going. And it's all good. So guys, you slipped up, but you're still in the game, and that's what counts. And if you want help turning these stumbles into unstoppable progress, I'm here for you. I'm here to help. My name's Rhett. I'm your sobriety coach, and I work with people one-on-one to get sober and to stay sober. So if you're interested in booking a free call, check the description below. There is a link. And let's figure out your next steps together. So hit that link. I'll see you on the other side, sober, stronger, and ready to crush it. Thanks for stopping by. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you on the next one.